Hello, lovely viewers. Welcome once again to Bash Mask Studio. Today's episode of the video is going to focus on changing recurring decimals to fractions. In fact, if we talk about decimals, we have different types of decimals. We can talk about terminating decimals and then also recurring decimals. For terminating decimals, they are very easy to change them to fractions, so our focus will not be on that. For example, if you have 0.5, this is called a terminating decimal because this particular number after the decimal point ends here. It doesn't continue, and therefore this is what a terminating decimal, and we all know how to change this one into fractions. In fact, there are some videos on this channel where you can find them later on, so we are not interested. Of course, this one, if you change it, we are going to get half, but our focus will not be on this. Our focus is going to be on recurrent ones. We are not going to focus on terminating ones. And then if we talk about terminating one, you can also give an example. Let's say 2.32. This ends here, so it's a terminating one. So those are some few examples of terminating decimals, of which we are not going to focus on. We are now going to focus on recurrent ones. So an example of a recurrent decimal is so examples. If you have examples 1, you can say 0.111, and 1 is repeating. So you will say that 1 is repeating. So you will say that 1 is recurring. This can also be written as or 0.1 with a dot on it or a bar on it. Just any indication that 1 is recurring. And then another example, let's say example 2 would have been, let's say 2.323232. What it means is that 32 is recurring. So after the decimal point, you have or this can also be written as 2. Sorry. You have 3, 2, and both of them are repeating. So we call this one also recurring. Another example may be, let's say 66 points. Let's say 3, 1, 2, and 2 is repeating. 1 is also repeating, and 3 is also repeating. So these ones are all repeating. And another example may be, let's say 0.151, where 1 is being repeated. Where 1 is being repeated and the rest are not repeated. So another example, in fact, you may have some few. So let's say you have 3.27, where these two are repeating. So you have 3.27, it's repeating. So these are all few examples of repeating or recurring decimals. Now the next episode is going to focus on solving these ones or changing them to common fractions. So how do you change them? For every example we have given here, it has a different way of solving it by using the same method. Of course, there could be other ways of changing them, other methods, of which one of them we can use a calculator to actually change them, and some of the videos will also focus on that. We will show you how to use the calculator to change a repeating decimal to a common fraction. In fact, it is not the same way as changing a terminating decimal to fraction. How to use the calculator. So this one will show all these things on the Bash Mask Studio here. So the next episode is going to focus on changing these ones, all of them, to fraction or a lot more examples. So with that, we will also want to explain to you before the video ends. We want to explain to you that these examples we have written on the board has different ways. Just as I told you, we use the same method but different ways in solving them. The first of its kind is going to be when the repeating decimal is of 1. one kind or maybe of the same kind. For example, this is 0.1 and 1 is being repeated. Or another example, let's say 0.3 and 3 is being repeated. And then maybe another example, let's say 0.5 and 5 is being repeated. So if the repeating value is of the same kind or of one kind, that is what we are going to focus our next episode on. And then we also focus on other ones later on. So that's what we are going to do the next one. So thank you very much for following this episode of the video. See you in the next episode. Thank you.